my hope for this class is that over the next 4 weeks, we can get really connected to our bodies, to figure out where we're holding stuff, to figure out how to let go of stuff, to maybe get in touch with our bodies in a way we kind of ignore. We just go through life and we just keep pushing through, we keep going, right? And we don't stop to think. Like, for example, today we're going to start with our feet. We don't stop to think about how our feet play such a role in everything that we do, right? In our toes, and we'll work our way up the body. So I'd like to start at the feet, and we'll work our way up the body. So my hope is that when you go home, when you get your workbook and you look at it, that tonight or in the morning, you kind of do that first page and write where you're at. So you're writing what you're feeling in your body, how, there's an explanation there about how to do it, but just so that at the end of the 4 weeks, you can do it again, and then you can go back and see if we made any progress and where you learned something or where you found something out about your own self that you maybe didn't know. So each one, we're going to start with a short little guided meditation to focus on a different part of your body. We'll do some exercises, and then we'll end with a short little guided meditation to focus on that part of the body again, and kind of see if we've gone any further. And then the goal is that at home, you have some exercises to do during the week, and they're super simple. There's not a lot of them. Maybe it takes 5-10 minutes a day. And then there's those are physical exercises. And then there's 2 different somatic exercises for each week that I'd like you to try and see if you can do it. And then if you need help, let me know. But it's different things about focusing inward and moving your body in different ways that maybe we don't normally think about. So I'm going to invite you to lay on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the ground. So go ahead and close your eyes, or just have a soft gaze in front of you. And I want you to try to just first focus on your breath. You're going to inhale, fill your lungs fill with air, and then you're going to exhale. If your mind wanders, it's okay. That's what minds do. We're just going to come back to it. I want you to lay down. We're just starting. I'm going to have you lay down on your back, right on that mat for me, love. Okay. So I want you to focus on your feet. I want you to see if you can feel your feet on the mat. Do they feel supported? Do they feel tired? I want you to draw your attention to just your left foot. Think about the toes of your left foot, the arch, the ball of the foot, the top of the foot, and the heel. If you want, you can wiggle your toes around just to see if there's any sensations there. Notice if you feel any sensations in your toes. Can you feel the blood pulsing through your left foot? Does it feel warm or cold? Can you become aware of how much space your foot takes up? So again, if your mind wanders, just bring it back to your left foot. Focus on the sole of your foot. Do you feel grounded where you are? Now I want you to direct your attention to your right foot. Concentrate on how it feels. Can you feel the mat under your right foot? Again, you're going to notice the top of your foot, the sole of your foot, the toes, the ball of your foot, your arches, your heel on that right foot. Are there any sensations on your right foot? Can you feel your pulse in it? Can you feel the blood flowing? Warm, cold? How much foot does your right foot take up? How much space does your right foot take up? Sorry. No, I distracted Savannah, but you can bring your mind back to your feet. Now I want you to take your attention away from your feet and bring it back to your breath. Bring a nice big inhale. smile. Then when you're ready, I'm gonna have you open your eyes. Bring yourself back to this room, this awareness of where you are, and we're gonna stand up on our feet. Sorry, that's okay. Sometimes my words don't come out right. I get the Franny syndrome. Okay, so we're gonna start with our feet. As we talked about right before you walked in, Carla, we kind of take for granted how, everybody, this is Carla, Cindy, Savannah, my daughter, and Francine, my mom. We've met. Gavin's on Zoom here. Okay, so we don't often think about our feet. We take them for granted, right? We go for a walk, we go for a run, we get on a bike, we do whatever. Our feet go wherever, they take us wherever we need to go, and we often forget about taking care of them or that they actually can move independently, right? Okay, so I want you to just take your feet about hip distance apart, and just like you felt that grounding on the floor when you were laying down, I want you to feel that grounding here. So I want you to think about your weight grounding into your feet, and almost imagine you've got roots kind of anchoring your feet down. Then I want you to take your weight and you're gonna shift your weight just forward a little bit, keeping your feet on the ground, and backwards a little bit. I want you to try to just feel what it feels like to have more weight in your toes, to have more weight in your heels. Go back and forth. And then I really want you to try to find your center. So that place in the middle where you're not too far forward or too far back. And you kind of feel yourself growing up out of your feet, nice and tall. And then focus your breath on your actual center. Right? So all the energy coming back to the center. Nice. Okay, so you found your center of gravity, your center of mass here. Now we're going to play with it a little bit. Okay, so this time I want you to come up on your toes only a little bit. Carla, the bike's back there if you want to hang on to it. Okay, so I want you to just barely hover your heels over your mat. Think about what that feels like in your toes. Do your toes feel kind of responsible for your weight? Right? The ball of your foot, the heels just hovering, and then lower down. I want you to lift your toes up and bring your weight into your heels as much as you can. Do you feel supported? It's much easier. Do you feel supported in your back body, right? Now let's do it again. Place the toes down. Just hover the heels by slightly lifting them off of the mat. What do you feel coming up your body? It's a little bit harder, right? To hold your weight in the front. And then slowly lower those heels down and lift to come back the weight in the heels. And then go ahead and place everything down and find that even weight again. So we're going to keep returning to that even weight on our feet, trying to keep that center. So when we get off center, we're always going to try to come back to center. So when I say even weight on your feet, I want you to think about a tripod. So if you think about a tripod, we've got one over there, the 3 little arms, right? And it holds everything up nice and stable. So when you think about the tripod on your foot, I want you to think about the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the heel, right? And those are your 3 points, and you're gonna push those down into the floor, and that's how we're gonna ground into your mat or the floor, or whatever surface you're on. This is a great thing to do outside too, to feel the grass on your feet, to feel the energy, and just ground yourself. Okay, so now what I want you to do is just lift the big toe. See if you can push the rest of your toes down and just lift the big toe. And then place the big toe down and try to lift the other 8 toes. There you go. And then the little toes go down and you lift the big toe. It's harder than it seems, right? And then bring your big toes down with the little toes. Sometimes our hands go like this too when we do this. So that's okay. Nice. And then place them all down. Okay, now I want you to focus just on your right foot. Maybe bring it forward a little bit if you want. And I want you to try to do what we're going to call a toe piano. So I want you to lift all of your toes up. You're going to slowly put your big toe down. Then try to just put the second toe down. It's really hard. And then the third toe, and then the 4th toe, and the baby toe. Okay, once they're all down, it's super hard. It's not easy. I want you to lift the big toe up, and then the second toe, and then the third, and the fourth, and the baby toe. Okay, we're gonna reverse it on this foot. Baby toe goes down, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, big toe. That was a little easier that way, right? Okay, now let's bring your left foot forward. Okay, so lift all the toes up, place the big toe down, then the second toe, then the third toe,
I just don't agree.
and then the baby toe. It's hard. Okay, so now peel them up. Peel up the big toe, the second toe, the third toe. You see my fingers are going too. The fourth toe and the baby toe. And now go backwards. Baby toe goes down, second toe, third, big toe. Nice job. Feels weird, right?
Yeah.
But we don't often give our toes the movement they have. They have
I've
this.
never tried to do that.
You haven't?
No.
So it's a fun one to try, the toe piano. Excuse me, the toe piano. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to think about lifting the toes and spreading them apart as far as you can. Okay, so you're trying to, like if our toes are like this in shoes, I want you to think about lift and separate as much as you can. Okay, so lift and separate, and then try to keep them separated as you lay them down on the mat. Nice. And then again, lift and separate. Try to get them a little bit further apart. And then slowly lay them down. There we go. One more time. Lift and separate. And then slowly bring them down. Nice. You guys feeling different now that you can like move your toes a little bit more? Okay, so we're gonna go up to the arches here. What I want you to think about with the arch is I'm gonna let my foot fall in so that my arch comes down on the mat, and then I'm gonna try to really lift up through my arch so I lift it up. So we can do it with both feet at the same time. Drop your arches down so you're trying to like flatten your foot on the mat on the inside, the big toe side, and then really try to lift through the arches as you pull them up, open them up. And then lay them back down, true, try to flatten those arches again. And then bring it up. So if you have flat feet, it's easier to go in. If you have high arches, it's easier to go out, right? So we're trying to work both and find that center again. So go ahead and drop it in. Try to lift from the arches and come up. 2 more times, drop it in. And lift. And 1 more time, drop it in. And lift. Okay, placing your feet down, I want you to find your center again, right? So we're going in different directions, finding the center. Okay, so this time we're gonna do these little ankle sways. So for ankle sways, you're gonna come to your pinky toe on one side and your big toe side on the other foot. So your feet lift up like this, then they're gonna come down and they're gonna switch and lift up the other way. There you go. And we're gonna go back and forth. Ace. So just think about this while you're doing it. If you're watching yourself in the mirror, what are you feeling when you do this? Do you feel like a tightness in one direction? Does it feel more difficult on one foot than it does on the other? There's no judgment. We're just curious about what's happening in our own bodies, right? Does it feel hard to have them go different directions at the same time? Right? Do you feel the chain going up your leg as you move?
I feel my arch is starting to stretch out.
Yeah, good. And then go ahead and find that center again. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the toe now, the ball of your foot. And what I want you to think about is your feet are hip distance apart, and I want you to come up as high as you can this time for that calf raise. Really feel the arch of the foot stretching, the ankle is stretching as you come up as high as you can. Trying not to let the big toes lift and go out, right? So I want to keep my feet nice and straight and then slowly lower down like a little elevator, like you're going down one floor at a time. So bring them up as high as you can, like you're wearing the highest high heels. Right? So again, find your center here. It's gonna help you. And then slowly lower down that little elevator. Nice. Lift it up. Your ankles won't go out, don't they? So
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it's hard when I'm looking at myself too.
It is
I also
hard.
have balance.
So when you're thinking about balance, if you're looking at yourself in the mirror or something moving, it's gonna be harder. Slowly lower down.
Could be an advantage if you wear stiletto shoes.
Yeah,
Well, there's also a disadvantage if you wear stiletto shoes too.
They're used to being on their toes.
They used to be on their toes, so their calves are tight, super tight, right? Nice, and bring it down. Beautiful, okay. So now what I want you to do is I want you to try to take your left foot up to just your toes. So you're gonna try to shift, I would say like 98 to 99% of your weight to your right foot. What does that feel like right there? Do you feel supported? Do you feel like unstable, right? Now I want you to take that knee and just bend it. So 100% of your weight is on that foot. What do your toes feel like? Are they fighting to grip? Can you splay them apart a little bit more? Can you think about the tripod of your foot, engaging your center to hold you up and finding your balance? Nice. And then bring it down. I know, it's tricky, isn't it? And then go ahead and shake out that right leg, because that was, put some weight on it. Okay, so this time on the left leg, think about what you learned on the right leg. Should you try to splay your toes and find that tripod first, okay? So find, your right toe comes up, find about 98, 99% of your weight on that left leg. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring that right knee up. It can be in front of you, it can be back, whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. Do you feel more stable on this side, less stable? Are your toes really trying to hold on? Is your arch shaking, your ankle shaking? Remember, no judgment, we're just curious. We're just curious. There we go. And then go ahead and place it down. Lisa, do you not turn that down? Just a tad. I'll do it, it's super quick. I know, I just thought you knew how to do it, you do it super quick. Just felt like it was, the music was getting louder and louder on me. Yeah, if you guys need a drink at any point in time, take a drink. Okay, so we're moving up to the ankle a little bit. So I want you to, you can hold on to something if you want. You're gonna take your right foot out in front of you. And again, think about what am I balancing on my left foot? If I'm on my outside of my foot and my arch is lifted, think about all that weight's on my ankle, right? If I can push that tripod down, the tripod of my foot, I get way more stability. Engage my core. Okay, so what I want you to do here is I want you to point your toe as much as you can. And then I want you to flex your foot. Point it and flex. Point and flex. Think about all those bones in the foot that are moving right now. To point and flex your toe. If it gets to be too much, you can put your heel down and then bring it to your toe. Either way, they both work. Bring it back down. So think about what that felt like on that foot. We're gonna go, yeah, the stability leg is what gets you done, isn't it? Take your left foot out in front of you, and you're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna point and flex. Nice. Does it feel easier on this side? Do you feel more of a stretch? Does it feel tighter? Harder to balance?
Not to say something.
And then bring it back down. Okay. Okay, so we pointed and flexed, we rolled on different sides of our feet. Now I want you to think about the rotation of your ankle and your feet. So I want you to slightly turn your right foot in. I know it feels very weird, doesn't it?
Say slightly, then do like a 90-degree angle. Sorry.
Okay, so not just your foot turned, right? Your ankle turned, your knee turned, your hip turned, everything rotated inward. Be careful with your hip, by the way, my dear. Okay, so think about what does that feel like on the foot? Does it feel weird? Because we don't normally walk like this, right? You got it, Carla?
Yeah.
There you go. And then bring it back. Now we should turn it all the way out. To feel a little easier here. This is more of a normal stance for a lot of people, right? We turn it out. We do the external rotation more than we do internal. And then turn it back in again. Can you go a little bit further? Can you get a little bit more movement in there? And then turn it back out. Nice. Then bring it back to that center position again. Okay, this time you're gonna take your left foot and you're gonna rotate it inward. Can you keep the whole foot on the floor when it's rotated inward? And then rotate it outward. Seems easy. Or rotate it in. And then bring it back out. Good, and then find your center again. Okay, so just go ahead and just bend one knee and then the other, kind of shake it out. I know it seems like nothing working with your feet, right? You're like, oh, we're working with our feet, no big deal. And then you realize how much our feet do for us. And this is why we're talking about it. So the foot has a lot of bones in it, right? You've got all these toes that move individually, but we like to move them together. And then when we think about our ankles, we think about just when they hurt, right? We don't think about what they can do for us and how we can strengthen them until we hurt them, and then we realize we can't do anything. So I want you to think about your ankle. We're gonna get a little bit of a stretch here. You're gonna take your toes and tuck them under on the mat. As you try to push your foot forward a little bit, right, you're gonna feel the stretch of the ankle up the front of the leg, the shin, those shin splints. This is a great stretch for shin splints. Now, while you're here, try not to let yourself go out, trying to keep your knee and your ankle, your heel in line. Here we go. Nice. And then take that ankle out in front of you and just give me circles in one direction. And then the other. Nice. And the other foot. Okay, so take the left foot, bring the toes back. Feel that stretch there. If it hurts, that means you need to do it more often.
It's like cramping my toes.
Cramping. You hold a lot. I mean, so think about this. I know this sounds weird, but we also can hold stress in our feet, right? When you are trying to hold on so tight that you're cramping your toes when you're nervous or you're scared, we're holding stress in there. So how can we release it? How can we let our toes function and our feet function like they need to? And then take that foot out in front of you. Give me those little circles in one direction and circles in the other direction. Nice. You find little muscles in your feet you didn't know you had too. Okay, so we're going to explore some stances with our feet and our balance and our center of gravity here, and even just your center energetically. Okay, so we're going to start with your feet right next to each other. So they're right up against each other. So just take a moment, stand up nice and tall, find your center if you can, and think about what you feel standing here. Do you feel supported? Do you feel like a tree blowing in the wind? A little shaky, right? Do you feel like a really sturdy oak tree not going anywhere? What do you feel like? Okay, from right here, I want you to close your eyes and see if that feeling changes. Do the feet still feel rooted to the ground? Do they feel less rooted and more flowy in the wind? Can you make them more rooted by pushing down through those 3 points of each foot? Do you feel your toes hanging on? If you do, can you lift and separate your toes? Really focus on your feet, feeling grounded. If you feel like you're losing your balance, go ahead and open your eyes. Beautiful. Okay, so now everybody's going to open their eyes and we're going to change our stance. So you're going to take, and it doesn't matter which foot, you're going to take 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. But I want them to have some space in between them. Okay? So whichever foot you have forward and whichever foot you have back, I want you to think about both of them rooting into the ground again. So feeling that energy anchor you down, and then find your center. Can you pull your abs up just a little bit to really ground yourself and feel like that sturdy oak tree again? Now, if you want to see how you feel, go ahead and close your eyes. Notice the difference between having your feet slightly apart, separating your roots a little bit, and having your roots really close together and stable. Does it change how you feel? Can you ground your feet? Can you dig those roots a little bit deeper by pushing into those 3 points of your foot? Can you separate your toes so that they're all pushing down into your mat? Open your eyes. I'm going to switch which foot is forward. Okay, so same thing. They have a little bit of distance between them. Opposite foot comes forward. Now, before you start this time, think about what you felt the last time, how you were standing, because however you started was probably your dominant side. So this is probably your non-dominant side. So think about, did it help to press through the tripod to help display the toes? Did it help to find your center by pulling your abs up and finding the energy there? Then go ahead and close your eyes. Does this side feel different? Remember, no judgment, we're just curious. Does one ankle feel like it's shaking a little bit more than the other? Can you dig those roots just a little bit deeper, find yourself standing a little bit taller, making a little bit more room in your center for your energy? Okay, so we're going to make it a little bit harder. The foot that you started forward with, let's start with it forward again. This time, you're going to place your opposite foot right behind it. So heel to toe. So Cindy, if you want to move over so you can hold on to something, absolutely do that. Yeah, so if you ever feel like you need to hold on to something, put something there so you feel more comfortable. Just going to take some of it out. Okay, so same thing. Think about what works for you. What makes you feel grounded? Find that center. Pull your abs up a little bit. Really think about how stable you are. And then go ahead and close your eyes if you can, if you feel like that's an option. Do you feel yourself shaking more? I do. Can you push down through your feet a little bit more? Dig those roots in. Lift your chest and your abs. And then open your eyes. That feel a little bit different for everybody? A little shakier? Okay, let's switch. So the opposite foot's gonna come forward this time. Your heel to toe here. Think about the tripod displaying the toes. You can also think about engaging those inner thighs here. Find your center. If you choose to close your eyes, do you feel yourself shake a little bit more? Can you fix it so you find your center and pull up as the roots go deeper? You go ahead and open your eyes and bring your feet next to each other, kind of shake them out. What did you guys notice? Very floaty.
Eyes closed.
Yeah. So we take away your sight, right, your vestibular system, and we kind of go. Our vestibular system kind of goes, what are we doing? Right? But it also helps to practice that way, because then when we go to fall, if we're in the dark, we can't see, we go, oh, I can hold myself back up, right? Okay. Really quick. Okay. So we explored some different positions with the foot standing like that. Now I want you to think about doing it with just the toes planted and the toe mounds. So I want you to come back to that heel hover here, right? Okay, so find your balance. Find you're pushing down through the toe mounds this time more than anything, trying to kind of splay the toes, and then find your center. Now, can you close your eyes and hold that hover of the heels? It's a little harder. There you go. And then open your eyes and lower your heels down. That feel way less stable, right?
Yes.
So you only had part of your roots in, the other part of you was coming up out of the ground. Okay. So going back to just some exercises here. So go ahead and relax your feet, shake them out if you need to. We're gonna do some toe crunches. So we do crunches for our abs. We do crunches for our toes too. So start with 1 foot forward. And what I want you to do is I want you to scrunch your toes in like you're trying to pick up your mat. Feel yourself pulling up through your arch, and then let it slide all the way out and separate the toes. Scrunch it up and separate. Scrunch it up and separate. And one more time, scrunch it up and separate. Okay, let's go the opposite foot. Bring it in front of you. Scrunch those toes and separate them. And scrunch them and separate them. Scrunch, separate, and one more time. Scrunch, separate. You feel the cramping?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you do too, Carla. Yeah. Okay, so this is one of these simple, easy, and it's actually one of your exercises in your book is to crunch your toes, right? So put your feet together this time and try to crunch them. You're really pulling up through that arch right there. And then let them go and relax. And then bring them in and up. And relax. One more time. Now, if you can hold it here, what does this feel like as far as being grounded or rooted? Feels like you're about to fall over, right? And then go ahead and separate them. Now feel how you feel grounded, right? So we need the movement to move, but then we always want to come back to that grounded, rooted center. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're gonna come down to the mat. Ooh. Okay, so I want you to take your feet in front of you, and I want you to just feel them on the mat. Okay, just kind of place them down. Do they feel tired yet? Or just your toes? Your what? Itchy. Itchy? Oh, you got bug bites. Yeah. Okay, so from right here, I want you to lift them up and flex your feet. Take a look at your toes. Okay? Now, I want you to just notice, again, no judgment. Does the big toe come in more than the little toe? Right? Are they coming up straight or are they turning in or out? What do they look like? And then what can you do to make them a little bit straighter? Can you maybe try to pull the pinky toe side in a little bit more so it's even with the big toe side? Right? And we're just kind of noticing, what are you laughing at?
My toes don't work independently. They don't.
Most people do not have the ability to make our toes work independently because we don't practice it, right? So go ahead and relax your feet. If you think about the way a baby comes out of the womb, right? With these perfect little feet, most of them are perfect, mine were not. So they come out with these perfect little feet. They can separate their toes. They can curl their toes. They can scrunch up into a little ball, right? We put ourselves in shoes for how many years?
Right.
And we've trained our toes to not be able to move. We've trained them that they're one, that they don't move, that they don't separate. So now we have to go back and undo the damage that we've done by wearing shoes and high heels and things like that, and trying to find some mobility in our toes, because these are our support system, right? Keeping them mobile, flexible, and stable is what's going to keep us walking, running, riding our bikes, hiking, living long lives, right? So the earlier we start, Savannah, thank goodness, and Zoe, we can do more, right? Okay, so I want you to take just one foot. And I want you to take your big toe, and I want you to create some movement in your big toe. So I want you to bring it back towards you, and then I want you to push it away. So just kind of notice what that movement looks like when you move the toe back and forth. Okay? Is it hard to move back and forth? Does it hurt? Right? Just moving it back and forth. Do you feel like you have enough range of motion, not enough range of motion? Then I want you to take all of the little toes, the 4 little toes, and bring it back towards you. You're gonna go back and forth. You're gonna pull it away from you and bring it back towards you a couple times. Try to feel what they feel like. I know it sounds weird, but are you holding stress in your toes? Right? We do hold stress there. Are we letting our feet get their full range of motion? Our toes too. Okay, so now this is gonna sound weird, but you're gonna take your big toe and you're gonna pull it away from your little toes. Because just like we stretch muscles, we don't often stretch the skin, the muscles, everything in these toes, right? Now take your second toe with your big toe and separate it a little bit more. Feels tight, doesn't it?
It's good though.
Feels,
In
yeah,
a weird way.
in a weird way, it feels good. Now take the third toe with it and separate. I know, it really does. And then take the fourth one with it, separate. You'll pull that toe away. Nice. Beautiful, and then we'll go to the other foot. Okay, so take that big toe. We're just moving the big toe back and forth. We're just trying to get some movement in there. I mean, how many times a day do we do this with our hands, right? And we never do it with our feet. So we're just trying to bring some awareness to our feet. They support us every day. They take us everywhere. Nice. Now to the little toes. Where somebody cracked, that felt good.
Savannah's been cracking all over,
Like cracking, we're snap, crackle, popping. Nice. Okay, so now take the big toe and pull it away from the little toes. And then take the second toe with it. And then the third toe. And then the fourth toe. Pull that pinky toe away, get some space in there. Nice job. Okay, now I just want you to take your feet out in front of you. I'm gonna scoot back so I can make sure I'm in the camera here. Hopefully I'm in the camera. Okay, so you're gonna take your feet back. Okay, so we did this standing up, but you're just gonna point and flex. And just feel a difference when you're not grounded. Okay, so now we're grounding through our bottoms, not through our feet, right? Do they have a little bit more motion here? Do they feel a little less stressed, a little less tense, or do you feel more of a stretch sitting down? Okay, now I want you to take them and invert them. So you're gonna drop them inwards, okay? To feel easier or harder seated, and then taking them up and turn out. This one's a little harder seated, right? Sitting down, and then bring it in. And then take them out. And bring it in. And take them out. In. And out one more time. In. And out. Now, can you circle them around? So point them as you bring them in, and then flex them as you take them out. Right? Look at all the ways your ankles, your toes, your whole foot is moving. Do you feel it up your legs, hips, and knees? Our ending meditation is going to be letting go of stress in the toes. Okay, now we should switch directions. Flex it, bring it in. So flex it to bring them in, and then point the toes and take it out and around. There you go.
Said switch and I completely lost all
That's
of
okay. One more time. Beautiful, and just kind of shake those ankles and the legs out. Okay, so I'm gonna have you come up onto your knees. I know it sounds weird to work on our feet on our knees, but we're gonna do that. Okay, so these are positions we don't often think of that help us with that our feet help us in our daily life and moving and coming up and down and stuff. Okay, so what I want you to tuck your toes under, and what you're trying to do is, again, keep all that big toe down too. So we're trying not to let the ankles go out to the side. We're trying to really find some stability in them this time. So as you're here, I just want you to sit up on your ankles, feel the stretch in your toes. Feel good or hurt? Weird, hurt?
Doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, come back to your hands, flatten your feet, and come back. And how does that feel? Awesome. Way more normal, right? But sometimes we have to do what's abnormal to keep our feet healthy. Okay, so we're gonna come forward again, tuck the toes under, and sit back on them. Why is this important? Getting us up and down. Exactly. Get to here, right? Gets us there. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You can use your hands if you want, but this is the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal is to be able to move through life with ease, right? So if we're down and you have a kid or something in your hands, to be able to come up, right? So think about what just happened in your toes, right? We've got them curled under. They're supporting us right now as we come back on them and lift up, right? That's it. Lift up. Let me come back down one more time. Okay, so you can flatten and we'll stretch it out this way because it feels really good.
It does.
It does feel really good, right? On the top of your
the
feet.
ankle.
Yes. So just think it's not just about the shoes we wear being able to walk. It's also getting up and down. It's all connected and we're gonna work through the whole body. But I want you to really focus on what do your feet feel like when we do these things. Okay, so now what I want you to do is come back to that all fours. So your hands and knees are on the ground. And I want you to take the right foot back behind you and tuck those toes under. Okay? So we're not gonna go up into a plank position, but this is like what you would do to start, right? Now from here, I want you to push back through just the heel on the right foot. Feel the stretch in the back of the ankle. And then bring it forward and release it. Take it back. Feel the arch stretching, feel the heel. Does it feel easy? Do you feel more of your calf? And then bring it back in. Take it back one more time. And then release it and bring it back down. Shake your ankles, circle your ankles around if you need to. Then we'll go to the other side. Okay, so this time take the left foot back, tuck those toes under, and then push back through that heel. What are the differences on this side? So we're just thinking, focusing on what is it, what do I feel? Bring it forward as you release. Take it back, push through the heel. Bring it forward and release. And push it back. Does the arch feel different? Do the toes feel different? Bring it forward and release. And one more time, push it back. And just notice what you feel. All the way to come up in your high knees. Okay, so you're gonna take your right foot out to the side. And I want you to keep it in line with your left knee. Yeah. So it's turned out like a little Captain Morgan. There you go, got it. Carla, do you want something to hold on to?
I'm not good.
Okay, let me know if you do.
I will.
Okay. So what I want you to think about right here is we're gonna work on the ankle right here. So Mom, bring your leg out a little bit more. There you go. So your knee's right over your ankle here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna push our weight through our right knee, trying to keep the heel down. So right here, you're also gonna feel it in your hip, but I want you to think about what do you feel right here in the back of the ankle and the Achilles. And then bring it back in. How far can you go forward with that knee without lifting the heel? Because that's where the stretch comes from. Bring it back. Let's do it 2 more times. So each time you're trying to get a little bit more mobility in that ankle, taking that knee a little bit further over the toes, and bring it back. Let's do it 1 more time. Nice. Ooh, did you feel that? And then come up and go the other side.
Feel my hamstring and my hip.
Your hamstring and your hip. Your ankle's pretty flexible on that side.
Or my legs just that tight.
So your left heel is in line with your foot, or in line with your knee. If I get my words out right. And your knee is over your ankle. So again, here, find your center, because that's what's going to keep you balanced. We forgot to do it on the other side. So think about pulling the abs up, right? Finding your center. Now I just want you to shift the weight through the left knee, trying to keep the heel on the ground, and then bring it back. So you might feel tighter on this side. You might feel like maybe it's a little bit easier on this side. And bring it up. You might feel stronger or more wobbly. And that's okay. But each time, can you push that knee just a little bit further? So we stretch that ankle. Let's do it one more time. Nice. And then bring it up. Beautiful. So take that foot out in front of you. Okay. There you go. Okay, so think about this foot here. Seems like a normal, easy position, right? Okay, so what role does this front foot play in you getting up off the ground? Right? So I want you to think about it. If you push through your toes, what happens? We're going to come forward and we're going to fall on our face, right? So if we talk about, just like we did before, grounding that foot, you're going to be able to push off of it, right? Now, what role does the back foot play in this? If I have my foot down like I do now, can I get up? Probably not as easily, right? So you're going to tuck the toes under. I'm going to come get you. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And I want you to think about grounding through and really anchoring in the front foot, using those back toes and pushing yourself up. There you go. You got it. And then I want you guys to come back down. Come back down. We're going to switch feet.
You want us to switch feet?
Yeah, I want you to switch feet. Let that help you.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay. So the opposite foot's out in front of you. Think about grounding it down, right? Really rooted, and then tuck those back toes under. Okay, you're gonna push through that heel so we can activate the glute and come up. Nice job. And then bring it down.
Look at us.
Nice, look at you. And then come back to both knees. Okay. So did one side feel stronger than the other?
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit? Did it feel easier with one? Was it your foot or was it just your balance?
My one toe.
One toe. Yeah, because you have an injured toe.
Right.
Right. So that's how that just shows you we injure a toe, right? And you don't realize what kind of role that toe plays until it's hurt. And then we're like, oh, this is not good. Right? Exactly. So it just goes to show you, like, every part of our foot helps us function in life. And so we need to find that full range of motion and take care of it. Okay. So now bring your right foot out in front of you again. Tuck your left toes under. And try to push yourself up. And walk yourself. So you're standing up with both feet. Nice job. Okay, anybody need a drink? Everybody good? Okay. We're gonna go to a little bit of balance here. If I still have time. Okay. So we're gonna go to a little bit of balance, which we all need to practice, because once we stop practicing it, it disappears. Okay. So pick your dominant foot. For most people, it's their right foot. Some people select it, whatever you want, whatever you feel more stable on. I want you to pick that foot. And I want you to find a way to shift, excuse me, all of your weight to that foot and just bend the opposite knee. Okay. You can hold on to the bike too. Right. So from right here, if you want to challenge yourself, I want you to really ground into the foot that's standing. And I just want you to give yourself a little hinge forward. So if you're a little teeter-totter.
We are teeter-totters.
We are. And you're going to come that little teeter-totter position, and then you're gonna bring yourself back up, pushing through your foot, push through your foot, lift through your center, lift through your abs. Up. Nice. Okay, let's switch feet. All right, I'm all in my throat. Okay, so you're on the opposite foot. Shift your weight. Bend your knee if you can. Now, if you're feeling like this is a little off balance, try engaging your abs. Try planting your foot. Think about your toes. When you're ready, if you want to challenge yourself, you're going to be a little teeter-totter. Woo! And then you're going to bring yourself back up. Nice. Okay, both feet come down. Okay, so just like we're walking upstairs, I want you to think about, we're gonna do a little march here. You're gonna balance on one foot, other foot comes up, and then we're gonna switch. Slow is sometimes harder than fast, right? Gives you that extra time to ground instead of just using momentum. And switch. There you go. Come down and switch. Nice. Come down and switch. One more time each side. And down and switch. You caught yourself. That was fantastic. And bring it down. Okay, so feel both feet on the ground. So another thing we don't think about with our feet is we have all these nerve endings at the bottom of our feet, right? And they send messages to our brain all day long. But then we put ourselves in shoes and our feet go, oh, you don't want me to communicate anymore, so I'm done, right? So we don't often think about it. So what I want you to do, and this kind of sounds kind of weird, I just want you to feel the difference. So standing on your mat right here, what do you feel? Give me words. A little squishy. Is it cold? Is it warm? Yeah, in between, it doesn't really have a temperature. Okay, well, let's give it something to compare it to. Step onto the floor next to you. What does that floor feel like? Cold and harder. Harder. Not as squishy for sure, right? Does it feel a little smoother? Yeah. Okay, now step back on your mat. Can you feel the texture of your mat now that you felt the smoothness of the floor?
Yes.
Can you feel the warmness of your mat now that you felt the coolness of the floor? Yes. Can you feel the squishiness now that you felt the hardness, right? So we often take for granted what we can feel until we feel something totally different. So I want to encourage you this week to feel different things with your feet. I want you to stand in the grass. What does it feel like? Is it wet? Is it cold? Is it dry? Does it feel good? Does it give you energy? So I want you to think about that this week when you're moving around. Try to do some barefoot stuff and think about, what are my feet telling me that I'm not listening to? Because in order for everything to function really well, we have to open all the channels and let everything flow. We're going to start with our feet, right? Okay, so let's do a couple more little. Let's do a couple more little feet exercises, and I want you to think about what you feel and where you feel it while we do it. Okay, so your feet are parallel. You're going to come up on your toes, and you're going to bounce your heels down. So instead of going slow, I want you to really just drop them down. Feel the vibration of your, I'll go all the way up your body, right? You feel it? Yes, feel that vibration. So this is not only good for your feet, this is really good for your nervous system. Kind of resets your nervous system. Give your vagus nerve. There we go. So when you're frustrated and you feel like you're numb and you can't feel anything, just give yourself, now do a little faster, little bounce, a little faster. You do this at work, you can do it anywhere.
Oh, they think I'm crazy enough it will happen.
No more bouncing your heels. Okay, what did you guys notice about your feet tonight? Anything?
Can't move my toes individually as much as I feel like I
Okay,
should.
the toes are kind of tight, right? Anything else?
But you feel more grounded.
You feel
And
more
I-
grounded
And
now.
I don't feel grounded when my eyes are closed.
It's definitely harder when your eyes are closed.
I feel like my feet are a little bit more stretched out now,
Good.
not as tight as they
Not as
were.
tight. How do you feel, Carla?
Yeah.
Can you guys like feel your feet a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the goal. Is I want
I'm
you
more
to feel
aware of them.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
want to say.
So when I walk, I'm concentrating now more on my feet.
on your feet, right? So when you walk, I want you to think about it. Can I feel my foot flow through? Because we want to get to a point where we flow through life, right? Where we're moving in a flowing state, not just our body, but our energy too. So part of that, it starts with our feet, is how do we walk? Are we slamming our feet down? Or are we getting that nice, easy flow of a walk? Do I feel the ground under my feet? Can I feel my ankles move? Can I feel my toes move? And in shoes, we definitely don't feel our toes move, right? Because in shoes, most shoes, unless you're wearing some zero drop or barefoot shoes, you're not feeling the toes get that full movement as you push through, which that push through is how we learn to walk, right? So think about that as you're walking around your kitchen barefoot, as you're walking around outside and stuff like that, okay? Okay, so I want you guys to lay back down the way we started. Then we're gonna calm ourselves down. You want me to do that, Carla? Got it? Okay, so I want you to, same thing, I want you to bend your knees in, place your feet on the mat, and think about what your feet felt today, okay? So you're gonna close your eyes. Just find a nice, easy breath. Feel your feet being grounded and settled. I want you to notice just what's happening in your body, especially your feet. Remember, we're not being judgmental. We're just being curious. Just how it is in this moment. I want you to take a moment, check in with your breath. Is it choppy? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Can you even your breath out? And as you do that, can you let the awareness in your body travel down to your soles of your feet? Notice how you're making contact with your mat. And here I just want you to wiggle the toes a little bit. Notice how your toes feel. And then bring them to a rest. And then put some pressure into the balls of your feet. How do the balls of your feet feel right at your toe mounds? And then think about your arches. Are they lifting up? Can you relax them a little bit? Do they feel tight? Do you feel a little lighter than when we started? Then feel your heels pressing down into the mat. Feel how grounded they make you. Then as you press the entirety of both of your feet down into the mat, maybe just try to lift the big toe. See what that feels like. Then press the big toe down. Try to lift the little toes. And then go ahead and press all of your toes down. And I want you to imagine, like we did at the beginning, that your feet, that the soles of your feet have roots. They're growing into the ground. They're supporting you. As you're laying there, I want you to inhale and exhale. Feel those roots going a little bit deeper into the ground. Maybe even coming up to your tailbone and your back and your neck, helping you feel supported, helping you feel grounded. Think about the support of the earth beneath you. I know it's hard on the hard floor, but just kind of imagine the earth, the grass beneath you, and the way the earth, and not just its surface, but its energy is supporting you. And I want you to bring your attention back to your breath. As you inhale exhale. Find your center. You place your hands there if you want to. Breathe into that center. Just take a moment to feel your whole body. Feel yourself centering and grounding. And remember that this is a practice you can come back to at any time. You need to calm your nervous system or feel more grounded. Just have to think about your feet. So when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And roll yourself up to a seated position if you want. Nice job. How do you guys feel?
Relax.
Good. Okay, I'm just gonna go over really quick the little exercises for home so you can see them. We did a lot of them in class. So one's an active toe splay. I've got this for you too, Carla. An active toe splay. So you're just trying to get those toes spread as far apart as possible, right? The toe crunch we did. It's just pulling up through the arch, crunching those toes. The ankle sways are the going back and forth like this. We didn't do the ankle rocks. Okay, so the ankle rocks, you're gonna face the wall and you're gonna plant your feet on the floor. Okay, we're gonna lift the toes and keep them, the feet weighted in the heels. And then you're gonna come around to the outside of the feet and up to the toes and back down. Okay, so you're just gonna rock them around in circles. Holding onto the wall is probably the best way to do that one. And the last one is the heel bounces that we did. You can start slow and speed it up. Okay, and then there's a grounding exercise and there's a relaxing rest exercise. So I suggest you read through it first and then kind of do the practice and kind of see where you are. And then we'll meet again on Saturday. Anybody have any questions? Feel good? Yeah? This is for you, my dear.
Okay, so Kelly, how long has it taken you to get your toes to actually splay?
Like I haven't gotten completely there yet, okay? But I've gotten here, this has been about 9 to 10 months of me working on my feet. Whoa. Right? The guy I trained with on the foot stuff, his feet completely come apart and he can do what every individual toe can move them by practicing all the time. So, but even just trying to get that splay makes a huge difference in your feet, right? And then being able to walk when you encounter a surface that's not flat, that's unknown, you're not suspecting it or whatever, your foot's able to catch yourself a little bit more because we can react better. So it's all about finding that balance of being able to move your feet, being able to have some stability and get you through your daily life and what you want to do in life.
Well, I just thought about when you talked about, if you hurt your toe and everything, all the sports people that have been out and you think, oh, it's just a hurt toe, and they miss forever. And
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Well,
It is. It's a big
right?
deal.
Because these are our foundation. We forget that our feet are our foundation. We can't get around without our feet. I mean, not as easily, right? You can. We've got tools now, but our feet carry us through life. They have all the nerve endings. They have feelings. They send messages. They move us. We run, we walk, we bike, we hike, we do all this stuff. We drive, right? All the things that our feet need to be able to communicate with us to even drive, to move your foot from the gas to the brake and stuff. And so we take them for granted. So just take this week to kind of focus on our feet. How do we move them and how do we use them in a better way? So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good job, guys. Thanks, Robin.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
I'll send you the recording so you can share with Zoe.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, thanks,
Have a good
darling.
night.
Bye.
Bye.